And we are live. It is Toronto Stevie Live on a Tuesday night. Apparently, Mr. Jackie Jones is celebrating his 50th birthday on Friday, so he's going to do IYH on Friday afternoon at 5 o'clock, according to the YouTube notify me thing there. So I'm probably not going to be able to be on this show. So I will give you a Smackdown summary. I'll give you a look at AEW in Australia, and I'll give you the Raw report and some wrestling news. But before I do all of that, a reminder everybody, like and subscribe to my channel. I'm always appreciative if people do join the YouTube channel and leave a comment. And if you do find the show and want to comment, comments are welcome. And let's get on with it because there's going to be a lot to cover. So, first of all, there was SmackDown. SmackDown this week, February the 13th, the day before Valentine's Day, came to you from Dallas, Texas at the American Airlines Arena. It was so the show begins with Tiffy Time, Tiffany Stratton, and of course she lost the WWE women's title, and now she has to get back into the hunt with the Elimination Chamber. So she comes out, but before she can begin her talk, she's confronted by Lash Legend and Nia Jax. Um, um, Tiffy, of course, doesn't back down. I know she said, "Oh, it'd be so great to see your face again, but I'd be a liar anyway." Lash Legend gets a comeback on this one. Lash Legend is one of the newer arrivals to SmackDown. I'm just wondering, is it inevitable that Lash Legend and Nia Jax will turn on each other? Well, maybe they're testing the waters on that one. Nonetheless, Tiffy says, "Oh, I see, Nia, you found a replacement," referring to when they were together. But as the fans are chanting Tiffy time, Tiffy, of course, again brings up the Elimination Chamber, and Nia Jax. It looks like they're going to be assaulting Tiffy. But Tiffy says, "You're going to lose another title match." And just when it looks like they're going to assault Tiffany Stratton, out come the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky come down to the ring, and Tiffy takes a powder, and they immediately go into the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky defending the titles against Nia Jax and Lash Legend. This one, it was kind of funny seeing little tiny Io Sky battling these two larger women. She would play the baby face in peril to get the hot tag to Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley would come in, hit the power moves, and it was really something when you see Lash Legend and Rhea Ripley going at it. Kind of looking forward to a good one-on-one match between these two at some point in the future, but nonetheless, this one spilled out into the ringside area near the commentary table, and eventually no one could make it back into the ring, and the referee was forced to count both tag teams out and call this a no contest. So it certainly looks like this feud will continue. There'll probably be a return match at some point when they were on the outside. So I think Nia Jax tried to throw Rhea Ripley into the announce table, and no, I think, or that Lash Legend booted her in the face and got a table from under the ring with those Slim Jim commercials on the table, those little ads on the table. So they put Rhea Ripley on the table, and it certainly looked like Nia Jax was going to splash Rhea Ripley, but Io Sky kicked. She ran at Nia Jax, ran through the ropes, and both of them just crashed onto the table and knocked each other out. Meanwhile, Lash Legend ran at Rhea Ripley, and they both smashed through the barricade, and all four were just laid out to end this tag team match. And like I said, it certainly looks like this tag team match is going to continue and, return match at some point. Everyone's favorite backstage interviewer and mine, the very nice Kathy Kelly. She's talking to Cody Rhodes ahead of his triple threat match to qualify for the Elimination Chamber. He says he could be angry. He could be, or he could do the Golden Boy thing. Oh, right. Anyway, he says he can control his emotions, and again, a scripted WWE promo promoting the Elimination Chamber. But we go backstage, and Carmelo Hayes talks to Apollo Crews and Matt Cardona. So Apollo Crews, who was on the missing list for, it seems, a long time, is now making his way back to WWE. Matt Cardona, now going by that name instead of Zack Ryder. And so these guys have a conversation when Carmelo Hayes is once again accosted by The Miz. I guess, I don't know, like Miz is just kind of running around, not really in anything in particular, but I'm wondering if Miz wants another shot at the U.S. title. We get a video package of Aleister Black and Selena Vega, and then we get back in the arena. Carmelo is in the ring, and I guess he's been champion now for 48 days. He's fought to bring glory and prestige to the title, and always wants to have the best match no matter what. And then, he's on his road to WrestleMania and earned an opportunity for WrestleMania, but I guess he's got to qualify for the Elimination Chamber as well. But he says he owes Ilya Dragunov a match. So Ilya Dragunov comes out, and they're in the ring, Ilya Dragunov and Carmelo Hayes. But before they can have a match, the MFTs come out, Solo Sikoa, JC Mateo, and the Tongas. And it certainly looks like they're interrupting this match. The match never really gets underway. And basically they walk down to the ring, and they get in the ring, and it's obviously 5 against 2, and they're immediately overwhelmed. They start beating up on both Ilya Dragunov and Carmelo Hayes. When the music hits, and out comes Matt Cardona and Apollo Crews. But they don't quite even up the score. It's still 5 against 4. So Shinsuke Nakamura's music hits, and he comes out to the ring. And there's a brawl among these 10. This brings out SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis, who immediately brings out a referee and says, we're going to have a 10-man tag team match. So finally, we begin the opening match of the night. It's a 10-man tag. The MFTs taking on Shinsuke, Ilya Dragunov, Matt Cardona, Carmelo Hayes, and Apollo Crews. This goes back and forth through a lot of commercial breaks. I think at one point Solo did get the Samoan spike on somebody, but it was once again it was Tama Tonga hitting his cutthroat elbow to Carmelo Hayes and pinning him 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring. So for the second week in a row, it was the heels. It was the MFTs getting the win in a match. It's not a good look for your U.S. champion when he loses on television. But as the MFTs are celebrating, the lights go out, and you see the Wyatt Six in the crowd. But this ended that segment, and then they cut to Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, and Charlotte Flair eliminating Alexa from the Royal Rumble. Coming back from the commercial break, it is a women's Elimination Chamber qualifying match. Alexa Bliss with Charlotte Flair at ringside versus Julia. She's got Kiana James at ringside versus Zelina Vega. This had a lot of action inside of the ring and outside of the ring. You had Alexa trying to hit the Sister Abigail move, but she would get that would get broken up. You had Zelina kept trying to put the Oscar lock. No, I'm sorry. Zelina Vega kept trying to do the code red. I think at one point she got a code red on Julia and tried to win the match, but Alexa Bliss broke it up. I think Julia hit the Northern Lights bomb and tried to cover Alexa Bliss, but Zelina would break it up. But nonetheless, eventually, it was Alexa Bliss. She hits the Sister Abigail move on Zelina Vega, pins her 1, 2, 3, and Alexa Bliss qualifies for the Elimination Chamber. Backstage, we've got Tiffany Stratton and Jordynne Grace. And Tiffany basically wishes Jordynne Grace good luck in her championship match against Jade Cargill before she quite literally runs into Chelsea Green in a wheelchair. And so Chelsea, I know she has a broken ankle. She's going to be out for a while, but she's still on television. Chelsea Green in a wheelchair, well, it's something for her to do on SmackDown. Coming back from the commercial break is another backstage segment with Sami Zayn and Rey Fenix. And it looks like Rey's got a match this week against Trick Williams. Meanwhile, Sammy's in a qualifying match, so they talk about that. And then I think this immediately goes into the Trick Williams versus Rey Fenix match. Rey Fenix has a lot of high-flying moves. Trick keeps shooting him down. Finally, it's Trick Williams. He hits the trick shot move, pins Rey Fenix 1, 2, 3, and wins the match. And so the crowd, even though Trick is supposed to be a heel, the crowd is really into Trick Williams. I don't know if these whoop that trick chants are piped into the crowd or whether they're a legitimate chant from the live audience, but it certainly is loud. I'll say that much. Backstage, you have the women's tag team champions are still trying to recover from the opening match of the night. And they're confronted by Kiana James and Julia. You basically have Ego Sky and Julia speaking in Japanese, and the other two actually kind of like reacting like they understand exactly what the others are saying. So nonetheless, okay, so Kiana James, so it made this, they break this up, and just as this ends, Jade Cargill, the WWE Women's Champion, and Rhea Ripley have a stare down before Jade walks away. There's a video package of Jade Cargill, the Jade Cargill Jordan Grace match, and and then this leads to the ring. WWE Women's Championship match, the champion Jade Cargill defending against Jordan Grace. I guess WWE is really putting all the eggs into the basket of Jade Cargill. This went through a commercial break. You had a lot of power moves, kicks, and from both Jade Cargill and Jordan Grace, but it was Jade hitting the jaded move on Jordan Grace, going for the cover, pinning 1, 2, 3. Jade Cargill retains the women's title, WWE Women's title. So I guess now is not the time for Jordan Grace. Don't exactly know how this is going to go, but at some point in this match, actually maybe it was before the match actually started, who comes down to the ring? None other than Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, and Dirty Dominic Mysterio, and they basically just set up. They're kind of celebrating. They're celebrating Valentine's Day. Dirty Dom has some flowers and a table, and they're all sitting at this table. Well, after Jade won the match, she got out of the ring and confronted Liv Morgan and basically had something to say to Liv Morgan before she left, saying, if you choose me, I think if you choose me, something like I'm going to beat her up or something. I can't remember specifically. But nonetheless, Liv Morgan has not yet made her decision who she's going to face. I still think it's going to be Stephanie McCurr, but we'll see. Coming back from the commercial break, Nick Aldis is with Oba Femi. Back on Raw, Adam Pearce gave Oba Femi a contract, and now Nick Aldis gives Oba Femi a contract. So Nick Aldis and both the general managers have made their pitch to Oba Femi, and Oba Femi has a decision to make on which show they're going to put him on. And I would think, my guess is Oba Femi is going to be on SmackDown, and he's going to be eventually be a challenger to Drew McIntyre. That's my big prediction. Anyway, Kit Wilson has another backstage segment. He sees Oba Femi and immediately backs down. Oba Femi challenges him to a match next week, but Kit Wilson, I don't think he accepted the match, but nonetheless, it would be yet another squash if that takes place. Kathy Kelly is interviewing Drew McIntyre, and Drew McIntyre basically talks about Randy Orton and then LA Knight, and then he cuts to, I think, Sami Zayn, and this obviously brings out Sami Zayn ahead of the Elimination Chamber qualifying match. Main event, Cody Rhodes, Jacob Fatu, and Sami Zayn. Now, I was really kind of hoping that they'd maybe try something different, but I think, as I've said on one of these shows before, I really don't think Sami Zayn, as much as some people want him to be the world champion, or WWE champion. I don't think it's in the cards for Sammy. So that left either Cody Rhodes or Jacob Fatu. It would have been interesting to see Jacob in this, but nonetheless, WWE went for the sure thing. This went through a couple of commercial breaks, and it was Cody Rhodes. And he hits the crossroads onto Sami Zayn, pins him 1, 2, 3, and qualifies for the Elimination Chamber. So it's going to be Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton and LA Knight so far qualifying for the Elimination Chamber. So that was Monday Night Raw. I did get a chance to watch some of the AEW Australia. Didn't watch all of it, but what I did see, for example, Jon Moxley versus Konosuke Takeshita. Say that 10 times fast. Jon Moxley versus Konosuke Takeshita. Singles match, AEW Continental Classic. This one went to a 20-minute time limit draw. So it certainly seems that yet another feud that's going to continue. Of all the people in Don Cal's family who should probably turn babyface, probably it's going to be Takeshita eventually turning babyface. You had the Babes of Wrath. I think Jack doesn't like the name, but I think it's cute. The Babes of Wrath, Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale defeating Megabad, Megan Bain, and Penelope Ford. And then you had Hangman Adam Page defeating Andrade El Idolo. So basically, Hangman will be the next one to receive the AEW World Championship match at AEW Revolution. Whoever wins the main event. Now, I did see the ending of this one. It was a mixed tag team match. The loser gets his head shaved. It was Orange Cassidy teaming up with Timeless Tony Storm versus the Death Rider team of Wheeler Yuta and Marina Shafir. And it was the babyfaces winning the match and Wheeler Yuta getting the pinfall or getting pinned. So it was Wheeler Yuta. It was Tony Storm, Orange Cassidy, and Luther taking turns shaving Wheeler Yuta's long hair. They didn't touch the beard, but they did shave his head. Kyle Fletcher defeated Mark Briscoe to retain the AEW TNT title in the ladder match. And your main event of the night for the AEW World title, the champion MJF defending against Brody King, and it was MJF getting his heat seeker pile driver on Brody King and a clean pinfall, 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring. So MJF retains the title. It'll be MJF versus Hangman at Revolution. Even though this was a very big deal for AEW and Australia, it did come across as just another show. That was certainly the impression I got watching MJF and the main event, MJF and Brody King. Looks like we've got Mr. Chobo. Anthony Chobo is made some comments here. Hi, Anthony. How you doing? Jack is having a show on Friday to celebrate his 50th birthday. Turning the big 50. I was there 10 years ago. I can tell you, turning 50 is just another number. But Chobo says, how are you doing today? I must admit, I don't understand this Wendy's diet reference because I don't go to Wendy's anymore. I eat chicken, but I don't eat red meat anymore. but I'm doing just fine. Um, Thanks for tuning in. Um, and let's continue on with the Raw report. So the last wrestling that I watched was Monday Night Raw. So let's go to the Raw report. Monday Night Raw came to you from Memphis, Tennessee. Uh, Michael Cole and Corey Graves. We get the pre-show arrivals. And coming out, so the show starts with Jimmy and Jey Uso making their entrance, but they don't actually come down to the ring. They're up on the concourse. They come out through an entrance, and they're way up in the middle of the ring, amongst the people in the crowd. But before they can come down to the ring, however, we hear Paul Heyman's voice. Ladies and gentlemen, he comes down along with Bronson Reed, Austin Theory, and Logan Paul. And he's trying to talk, but the crowd just won't let him talk. So Logan Paul takes the microphone, and he makes a reference to. He says, Paul Heyman's wisdom is worth as much as the $16 million he made on a Pokemon trading card. So this made the news actually on the radio. So I was listening to the radio today. Logan Paul had a Pokemon trading card and he sold it for $16 million. That is insane. Who in their right mind would pay $16 million for a Pokemon trading card? Anyway, nonetheless, the Vision comes down to the ring. They get in the ring. And finally, Paul Heyman shows he does a last week on Raw video of the Masked Man attacking Austin Theory, and which cost him the Elimination Chamber qualifying match. Theory takes the microphone, and it's really original to do a Masked Man gimmick. He said it was his match to win. Everybody knows it, and he calls Jimmy and Jey Uso the bomb-ass Usos. Anyway, Adam Pearce comes out, and he says playtime is over. He wants the Vision to go to the back to his office like gentlemen. But Austin Theory is angry. He wants to confront Pearce right then and there. Pearce says to Austin Theory, you screwed yourself. And the Masked Man got him. So nonetheless, so he says, so Paul Heyman wants Bronson Reed just put into the Elimination Chamber. But Pearce says, no, you've got to qualify. You've got an Elimination Chamber qualifying match next week. So this brings out LA Knight. LA Knight comes down, and he cuts a promo. He sees the Usos. He sees the three Vision guys. He sees the Usos, and he automatically wants to have a 6-man tag team match. So coming back from the commercial break is the opening match of Monday Night Raw. It is a 6-man tag team match. It is Jimmy and Jey Uso teaming with LA Knight versus Bronson Reed, Austin Theory, and Logan Paul. This one went through a commercial break. You had the Usos, all the usual stuff. You had LA Knight going for the blunt force trauma. At first, I think it got blocked, but eventually he did hit the blunt force trauma, and then I think it was Bronson Reed on the floor, or maybe it was Austin Theory. It was one of them. Can't remember which one. But because it was Bronson Reed hitting LA Knight with a spear through the barricade. But the referee was checking it. So the referee had his back turned, um, and at some point, I think it was the Usos hitting the super kicks and the 1D. Bronson Reed hit a headbutt, but it was it Logan Paul? I think he hit his he had his right hand. He knocked down Jimmy Uso with his titanium loaded fist. He tags Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed hits the salami splash on Jimmy Uso for the pin. So it was the Vision who got the win on the baby faces. And then Logan Paul leaves the ring, goes over to the commentary table, confronts Michael Cole. And he actually takes Michael Cole's headset and puts it on. And he leans over the commentary table and he's talking to Michael Cole when the masked man just appears out of nowhere and does a curb stomp onto Logan Paul onto the commentary table and runs off before Austin Theory and Bronson Reed can stop him. So Logan Paul gets laid out. Next up, they announced that Io Sky next Monday. Io Sky will battle Raquel Rodriguez and Kairi Sane for the Elimination Chamber qualifying match, and Bronson Reed will take on Jey Uso and the original El Grande Americano. So of these two matches for the Chamber, I guess I'd like to see Raquel win that one for the women, and for the men, I don't want to see Jey Uso win, so I'll say Bronson Reed. Yeah, Bronson Reed, the heels should win these qualifying matches. Backstage segment, Adam Pearce is with somebody, and I guess this past week, somebody in the WWE creative team must have been watching Seven, because Adam Pearce finds a box, and on this box is written, "Do not open until 2/28/26," which is the date of Elimination Chamber. And so the big question becomes, what's in the box? The assistant with Pierce doesn't know what it is. So Adam Pearce just says, send it over to SmackDown and let Nick Aldis deal with it. So for the next couple of weeks until Elimination Chamber, we're going to have probably an unveiling of something in the box. I certainly hope it's not. I certainly hope it's not Abdullah the Butcher. No, I guess he came out of a box in WCW. No, it's not an egg, so it's not the gobbledygooker. Nonetheless, we'll see. This continues on SmackDown. We get a video of Natty Neidhart and Asuka and Bayley ahead of their qualifying match, which is next. So the triple threat next qualifying match: Asuka versus Natty versus Bayley. It was Asuka trying to hit the Asuka lock on both of her opponents. Natty tried to go for the sharpshooter, but it was broken up. And Bayley was trying to hit the rose plant, but she couldn't get that move. But eventually, it was Asuka hitting the Asuka lock on Bayley. Bayley tried to struggle out of it, but eventually she had to tap out. So it was Asuka who qualifies for the Elimination Chamber, joining Rhea Ripley, Trish Stratus, and Alexa Bliss. So 4 spots are up, 4 spots filled, 2 spots left. Natty Neidhart was furious. She was walking up the rampway, back to the stage when she's attacked by Maxine Dupree. This brings out officials to break this up, but it looks like this feud will continue. You get Adam Pearce. So Adam Pearce was Obafemi, and this was the one where Adam Pearce made his offer to Obafemi for a Raw contract. And before Obafemi could walk away, there was a stare down with Rusev. So I really think this would certainly be a much better match. Obafemi versus Rusev instead of against Kit Wilson. So I still think Obafemi is going to end up on SmackDown, but it would certainly be interesting to see these two guys go at it first. Coming back from the commercial break, Michael Cole has an interview with Liv Morgan. And at some point, Stephanie Becker, the WWE Women's World Champion, comes in, sits down. She cuts a promo on Liv Morgan, but it's mostly in Spanish. So I really didn't understand what it is she was saying, and there was no translation. Would have helped. Coming back from the commercial break, CM Punk comes out to cut a promo. He is great to be alive on Monday night in Memphis, Tennessee line. He says that Adam Pearce thinks that he's jeopardizing the WrestleMania main event by wrestling Finn Balor at the Elimination Chamber. But he says, no, I'm not jeopardizing it. I'm making everything better. You know, sports franchises that qualify for the playoffs, this doesn't mean they sit out the rest of the regular season. So he says Finn Balor deserves a match. I don't think he does. He already lost one. But nonetheless, he should have just said, I'm mad at Finn Balor and I want to kick his ass. That would have been a better promo, in my opinion. Nonetheless, he said he does mention that Balor jumped him in Toronto and almost ruined his match against AJ Styles. But this brings out Finn Balor and Dirty Dominic Mysterio and JD McDonough. So these three come out and they get in the ring to confront CM Punk. And it's certainly, but this did not end in a brawl. Punk just dropped the microphone and left. And there was a back and forth, but Punk just dropped the microphone and left. We get a backstage interview with Mr. Charisma himself. Byron Saxton is interviewing Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. They're talking about their road to WrestleMania. They mentioned, the SmackDown match where Nia Jax and Lash Legend. But I think that feud is going to continue. They're confronted by the Kabuki Warriors. And what I really liked about this was the ending of this, where Asuka got into the baby faces' faces, and then she walks off, and then you just hear her screaming Kairi Sane's name. Kairi Sane is just kind of like this abused, almost like an abused wife. You know, she has to go off with her tag team partner. But this is kind of like, this is kind of funny. Anyway, coming back from the commercial break, number one contenders match, El Grande Americano versus Penta for the Intercontinental Championship. So the winner will get a shot at the Intercontinental title. So this is Ludwig Kaiser under a mask, and Penta, he's fighting off like Bravo and Rayo, the other two Americanos, and this brings out the original El Grande Americano, Chad Gable, and he hits I think it was Bravo Americano with the German suplex, lays him out. Meanwhile, inside the ring, Penta hits El Grande Americano with a springboard Mexican destroyer, pins him 1, 2, 3. So it will be Penta who will get the shot, I guess. We get a Judgment Day Clubhouse segment with Dirty Dom, Raquel, and JD McDonough. JD basically says he wants to help Finn Balor become the world champion. And then coming back from the commercial break, AJ Lee makes her way down to the ring. She says last week she came down for moral support with Maxine Dupree, and she left as the #1 contender for the Intercontinental title. She says she's been having fun getting under Becky Lynch's skin, but she says Becky Lynch reminded her this is a tough business by and she brings up that Becky Lynch threw her into the ring post. She says that she hasn't had a singles match in WWE in over a decade, let alone a title shot. She mentions the women's division is different. The last time she was here, they were fighting for a sparkly butterfly belt, the sparkly butterfly. She was proud of that title because she made that title, but she says she knows who she is, and there was a women's division before AJ Lee, and there'll be one after. But that was her gift with women in the back. Now, but she does say that she does want to wrestle the best of the best, and she mentions Bayley, Lyra Valkyria, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, the Kabuki Warriors, the Judgment Day, Charlotte Flair, and Alexa Bliss. So I'm really wondering if this is a full-time return, if she's dropping all of these names. But she does say all roads lead to Becky Lynch. And so she gave Becky Lynch a 10-year head start, and Lynch still hasn't caught up. But eventually, she calls out Becky Lynch, and Becky Lynch comes down to the ring and gets in the ring. Becky's got a microphone. And she says, AJ, you're not... She says, you're not getting a title opportunity. You're getting the chance to gather your family and friends in Chicago for a send-off and a retirement match. Becky says she wants AJ's family to cry. So just basically kind of, this was kind of I kind of want Becky to win this match. I don't think it would be a good idea for AJ to win the title. I think Becky should probably just hit the manhandle slam and pin her clean in the ring. Well, we'll see. Elimination Chamber, February 28th. We'll see how that goes. So Adam Pearce is with the Vision. This is right outside his office. Austin Theory is still mad. He's now even more furious with the Masked Man because of what happened to Logan Paul, and they just get out of there. Nonetheless, I think it was Adam Pearce says the Masked Man is just as big of a problem for him as it is for you guys. And Bronson Reed comes back and says he's a problem solver and he'll solve this problem. Coming back from the commercial break, they do a next week on Raw thing and basically announce that next week on Monday Night Raw, they're going to do a tribute to AJ Styles. And there'll be the final Elimination Chamber qualifying matches. They also announced that this Friday's SmackDown will be on the Sci-Fi Network due to the Olympics coverage. So we get a video package for the main event ahead of the commercial break. So the main event, a Monday Night Raw this week, Elimination Chamber qualifying match, Javon Evans versus the Ring General Gunther versus the Intercontinental Champion Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Now, I've been saying all along that I thought Gunther was going to eventually win the Elimination Chamber and take on CM Punk at WrestleMania, but he was going to win the Royal Rumble, that's right, and take on CM Punk at WrestleMania. But that didn't happen. It was Roman Reigns throwing Gunther over the top rope, winning the Royal Rumble and going on. So I thought, well, I really don't want to see Cody Rhodes take on Drew McIntyre. So I was really, when I saw this matchup, I was really thinking, well, Gunther is probably going to win this. But boy, was I wrong on that number, because it was, first of all, you had, this was one of Dirty Dom's first singles matches in a long time. He has been out with injury. He's finally come back. And I thought, well, yeah, it'd be interesting to put him in the chamber, but they didn't do that. Gunther just booted Dominic in the face. Dominic had the hammer, but I think Gunther took it away from him. But it was Dragon Lee who interfered in this match and started brawling with Gunther. This allowed Dirty Dom to throw Javon Evans back into the ring, but it was Javon Evans. He hit the 619 on Javon. He went for the frog splash, but Javon missed it or got out of the way, and he hit the OG cutter on Dirty Dominic Mysterio to pin him 1, 2, 3 and qualify for the Elimination Chamber match. I was totally shocked by this one. I did not think it would be Javon Evans winning it, but he pins the Intercontinental Champion and qualifies for the Chamber. This one totally surprised me that he would do this, because I did not think that Dirty Dom was going to win this match. Now, before I go, there's some wrestling news that I would like to talk about. I think I did notice this a little last week, and I posted something on the In Your Head Facebook page. It was MJF responding to the Wrestling Observer Awards that identified Booker T as the worst announcer in wrestling. I posted MJF had something to say about this on Twitter, coming to Booker T's defense, basically saying he should be much more respected. He's earned it. So yeah, he probably, I was surprised at this, but thank you, MJF, for standing up for him, I guess. So it was announced this week. It was announced this week that Ronda Rousey was returning to MMA, and she is going to fight Gina Carano. Now, Gina Carano, she's has been doing some movies. So she's been away from MMA as well. But when I immediately saw that this match was taking place, I thought Gina Carano was just going to beat the crap out of Ronda Rousey. And it's going to take place on Netflix, so I might even get a chance to watch it. Nonetheless, I'm expecting Gina Carano just to wipe the floor with Ronda Rousey, but we'll see. I think there's a report that Jey Uso may return to singles action. So it looks like maybe the Usos will be losing their tag team title pretty soon. We have David Finlay. Is that Finlay's kid? I don't know. But nonetheless, oh yeah, so there's the announcement of the tribute to AJ Styles. And I think that was the only thing. That was all the news that I could find. Yeah. So let me just get out of there. So that was all. That was everything that I watched this week. So a reminder: this Friday, I think Jack said 5 o'clock in the afternoon. He's gonna do a show. His 50th birthday party. So tune into that. I probably won't be on that show. But In Your Head Wrestling Radio, regularly Tuesday nights, 9 p.m. But when you get time, Toronto Stevie Live, when I can do wrestling and politics and anything else that comes to mind. Like and subscribe, leave a comment. Thank you, Chobo, for coming on and leaving some comments. And I will put this up in the In Your Head Facebook page, on Twitter X as well. And I hope everybody has a good night. And this is me signing off. Good night, everybody.